Welcome to another edition of Kickoff on the Couch. It's the morning after the 2015 AFCON draw. With me, Richard Maguire, Zola Dora. Guys, let's chat Bafana's group. We got the group of death, as we feared we would. Ghana, Senegal, Algeria. Maggie, what do you make of that group?
Well, you know, when you see Ghana, your heart sinks because they've always been one of Africa's most competitive national teams. But then you start thinking a bit deeper. We've played Senegal 5 times in international football, and how many times have we beaten them? 0. We've got a great record against Ghana, but when it really came down to it, 2006 World Cup, they beat us home and away in the qualifiers. And then there's Algeria, a team that South Africans maybe pay less attention to, but probably Africa's most impressive team at the World Cup. So it's a tough
top
group.
ranked African side at
that. Top African side in terms of FIFA rankings. One of their young players has been voted BBC African Football of the Year. I mean, it's all happening for them. And you know, countries that have been through strife, I always say their national teams are dangerous because guys aren't messing around. They've seen tough things, and they can handle tough sport. So that's going to be a big challenge. It's ironic that Sheikhs wanted to have a friendly against them, but now we're getting the real deal. So we have got a tough group. As I keep saying though, Sheikhs works in mysterious ways like the Lord, so I'm sure he's going to come up with some plan. As tough as it is, it's a big challenge for Sheikhs, his first ever competition at full international level. But I'm going to be feeling more confident going into this, as tough as the group is, than I have in many a previous AFCON.
Maybe listen to some Rita Coolidge to inspire him.
Look, you know what? In the Nations Cup, there's no such thing as group of life. It's all difficult. All these games are difficult because you look at it this way. Look at this qualifying group that we have with Nigeria and Congo. People are saying Nigeria is the toughest opponent. And look at what happened.
African champions.
Exactly, being African champions as well. So it's always going to be difficult playing against African teams. And the thing is, I think we shouldn't expect to beat Ghana. And as well as we shouldn't expect to beat only Algeria and lose against Senegal, because things can be the other way around.
Senegal are in good form. They've had a good year, just like Bafana under Sheikhs the last few months.
Definitely.
It's the best Senegal have looked in about 10 years. So no one can say, okay, they're going to be the highway through.
And the fact that we've done well in qualifiers, we shouldn't expect to do well in the tournament. Because the tournament format is a completely different thing altogether.
Absolutely. And to be the best, you have to beat the best. So, I mean, maybe get these guys out of the way. But Eddie Matale told Kickoff.com that the approach that Sheikhs and his boys should take is the same approach they went into when they went to Nigeria. It's like, don't show these guys respect and you superstars and what, you just go. Do you think that's the approach to take during AFCON?
I think we should, and the fact that no one is expecting us to do so well, I think we should be able to go to the quarterfinals. Because people are not going to expect us to be
might be too focused on the other groups.
Exactly, and we are the lowest ranked team in this group as well. So I think we have a chance of doing well.
My worry is we don't have a lot of experience. In a way, it's been working for us because it's players who don't have the baggage of being part of Bafana that's constantly disappointed. So, and Sheikhs has got them playing for him and feeling that pride. That's the plus side. The downside of that is tournament football is very different. Ghana can be not in the best of form, but you get something like this, the players know about it, they slot in. As you see, the Germans, the Italians, Argentinians, at just about every World Cup, it's almost part of the DNA now. They know how to work through those 2, 3, 4 week tournaments. We won't have many players with any inkling of that. That is going to be our challenge. But I absolutely agree, if we don't change our approach, if we just keep going, we're playing for the badge. As players, we're playing for Sheikhs. He's given us a chance. That is going to be how we will upset other teams. And we'll be like these Cape Verdes and these little countries that people say, how do they win? How are they winning?
Zambia.
Well, Zambia, were treated like a little country. And look what they did, because they're actually not that bad. And Zola's right. Of the 16 teams, most of them, you could say, could beat the other on the day. And the conditions, if we're playing, some of the pitches, they're terrible, some are half decent. Those factors will come into it. That's all a bit of an unknown. So it's very difficult to call, but I think that same attitude we've shown for the last 6 months, particularly in away matches, where I think the pressure is less. We're not trying to make home fans in South Africa feel better about Bafana. We're just going out there and doing our job. That's been the attitude of this new look Bafana. And that's an attitude that could carry them quite far.
Just looking briefly at the other three groups, I see the draw was very favourable to Equatorial Guinea, who so kindly helped Isaiah to host us at the last minute. Guys, just give me your two. I'm going to run through the groups. Give me your two that you think are going to go through. So it's Group A is Equatorial Guinea, the host, Burkina Faso, Gabon, and Congo. Zols?
Equatorial Guinea,
Burkina Faso, Gabon, Congo.
I think the home team will always be favourites to make it past the group stages. And the fact that they, the thing about Guinea, Equatorial Guinea, they don't have local players. They all have international players. Guys like Eduardo Ferreira and other Brazilian players as well. And those players are fairly good because I watched them against Spain last year. And they're very good. So I wouldn't be surprised if they make it past the group stage. As for other teams, I think the conditions will suit Burkina Faso. They, I mean, because they're playing in West Africa as well, so I think the conditions will suit them more than other teams.
Maggie, looking at Group B, Zambia, Tunisia, Cape Verde, DR Congo.
I just want to say I think we should watch Congo in that Group A as well. I think they're getting their act together. That's an interesting group. I suppose we're going to say the opposite of what I just said. Cape Verde, surely they can't go through. Zambia, I mean, Cape Verde finished above Zambia in qualifying, didn't they? And now they're playing each other.
And that shouldn't have happened.
I've got a feeling Zambia are going to find it a bit difficult this time round. It's a tough group. I actually think Cape Verde and Zambia might miss out.
Tunisia, DR Congo.
I think so. I mean, Tunisia are one of those nations that knows how to play cup competitions. Yeah, they don't necessarily win, but they're often there or thereabouts. You know, like top 4 type finishes. Quite boring, but efficient.
Final group, Ivory Coast, Mali, Cameroon, Guinea. Ivory Coast, Cameroon again in the same group.
That's difficult because Bafana quarterfinalists are going to come from that group. So that's going to be difficult. If you qualify as runners-up and Cote d'Ivoire finishes as number 1, we're going to play Cote d'Ivoire. If you finish as winners and Cameroon finishes second.
And Cameroon look good.
I think Cameroon and Cote d'Ivoire are going to go through.
And they Cameroon, Ivory Coast in the qualifiers.
Well, there was a very interesting piece on kickoff.com last week by Ed Dove about how Cameroon bounced back from a terrible World Cup, got their act together, sorted out what was wrong, where Ivory Coast still got a bit of a hangover.
And still hopping onto the golden generation, which never...
And the golden generation now, like most of England's golden generations that never made it, it's past. There will be no Drogba, there will be no Eto'o, who we're featuring in the next edition of Kickoff. That's going to be interesting to see because those are talismans. I mean, it's an overworked phrase, but they really are for their countries. How will they do without it? I think Gervinho, who was a bit of a flop in England, has been fantastic for 18 months in Italy and for Ivory Coast. If Yaya Toure is starting to get his form back at Man City, they've got a host of decent players in the French league. Then there's Boney. They have got players, but we've said this about them often, but maybe now without some of the old guys, the youngsters, in a bit like with Shakes' team, there's youngsters coming through who want to show and be boss. Ironically, this might be when they really do well.
I don't see them not making it past this group stages. I think they'll make it past.
Cool.
They're supposed to. It would be a shock if they don't.
Cool, guys. Well, just a couple of weeks away from AFCON. Let's see how it goes and support the boys in their brand new Nike kits.
Thank you, Nike. I thought it was a Norwich City kit at first, Canaries, but it's beautiful. You know, I was really scared we were going to get an all-white kit. I've never been a fan of all-white.
Now we look like Australia.
No, we don't look like Australia, because this is very bright. Gold and green are our colours. As long as they don't make us look like we play rugby, because that would be evil and a sin, this is good. So well done, Nike. I think they've done a great job here. I like this kit.
Cool. Well done, Nike. Thanks, guys.